Hello and welcome to Truth Matters Unplugged. In this video, I want to address Candace Owens and how she's been handling the Charlie Kirk investigation and aftermath after his memorial service and so forth, and as well as some other things that Candace has been saying. Now, just a little background. I've had a lot of respect for Candace since I first saw her debate somebody online. And this must have been somewhere between 7 and 10 years ago. I don't remember who the debate was against. I don't remember the details of it, but I think there were several debates following that. But I remember telling my friends that this woman is somebody you should look out for because she is sharp as a whip. And if you try to debate her, when she comes back at you, there's just some crumpled hair and the smell of burning hair left, some little smoke and so. There's nothing left of the person because she just destroys bad arguments with facts and with good arguments. And so I've had a lot of respect for her. And then lately, I've been a bit surprised at how she became more and more critical of Israel. And then she got married, and I learned she married a Catholic, so it wasn't surprising to learn that she's became converted to Catholicism. But then she started evangelizing for Catholicism and basically pulling a lot of people into that religion. But then, with the Charlie Kirk situation, I felt that she's infighting and airing her laundry in public. If she's a close friend to Charlie Kirk, to Erica, to the Turning Point USA organization, I felt just super uncomfortable with her, basically sort of punching them in the back. It felt to me like that she's not a unified force with them, that she's angry. She uses also terms that I felt was offensive. She would say that I watched my friend catch a bullet with his neck and stuff like that every time, and she's angry and so forth. And that's just unattractive, but also unbecoming. And so I've lost some respect for Candace, to be honest. I want to tell you a story also. Guys, if you are in a relationship, whether you're a man or a woman, you're a boyfriend, and you're married or you're unmarried, it's your boyfriend or girlfriend and you're married to them, you want that person to be on your side. If you find that person is not on your side, you need to get out of that relationship. Or if you're married, at least tell them, give them a chance to change their attitude. But they need to be on your side. Even if you have some internal differences and things, maybe you're a little mad at each other, but in public, there should be there should be nothing. It's you, the two of you, against the rest of the world. That's it. There's nothing else. Now, there are exceptions to this. There are exceptions to this if someone is abusive or, violent, something like that, or drugs are involved. Now, there are exceptions. I'm not going to talk about the exception. I'm talking about, just a normal type of relationship. I don't know what normal is anymore. Boy, this is also a difficult one. What do you mean by normal? Well, I don't mean when there's drugs, mental instability, mental issues, all those things. I think then you have bigger problems. But I was watching a couple with their child, a young son, and he was insulted. He was basically treated rudely by someone in the public, and I watched this happen. And the wife or girlfriend, I don't know what they were, instead of staying quiet or saying nothing or taking her husband's side, or a partner, let's call him her partner, instead of taking his side, she was taking the side of the person that was rude. And she was apologizing for her partner. She was saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We can do something else. We can do." And she was apologizing for him. In other words, shaming him in public in front of their child, which I thought was very, very hypocritical and unbecoming of a person like that. That was evil. You don't shame your child's father or your child's mother in the public in front of your child. And if he's been treated rude, or she has, then you need to take you don't take the rude person's side, you take your partner's side. If you're in a relationship like that, run. If it's a boyfriend or a girlfriend, if they don't take your side, run, get out of it. Because once you get married, it'll get worse. They will always pick the outside. You will be the enemy. Do not fall for that. Okay? So this is related to how Candace behaves, because if she is close to Charlie and she really cared for him and what he cared about, which is Turning Point USA and his wife and kids, why do I get the sense that she's attacking them? She shouldn't be. And in public, do not air your dirty laundry in public. There is no coming back from that. And this is relationship advice as well. Do not air your dirty laundry in public. Do not go and gossip with your girlfriends about your boyfriend or about your husband. And husbands, don't do the same thing. Don't go and gossip about your wife or your girlfriend to your buddies when you go drinking or when you go out or you're playing golf. Don't do that. Don't gossip about each other. Say good things. If you have nothing good to say, then say nothing. Gossip is not a biblical value. Gossip is against, the Bible speaks against gossiping. Let's get back to Candace. So, regarding the Israel thing, I want to tell you a couple of other stories. We don't have the facts. You cannot trust what you see online, what you hear, or the media. So I'm hearing two sides of the issue, two sides. And I'm just staying out of it. I'm staying neutral. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Israel is being targeted here. That's in the direction I'm going to lean. Why? Because I had this experience. I lived in South Africa and I grew up under apartheid. And let me tell you, and I don't want to defend apartheid, I don't want to get into that. But I want to tell you just a little bit about how the media lied and how they portrayed things in a false light back in the 70s and 80s to the international community. So there were wars breaking out between different tribes in South Africa in those days. This is the early 80s, late 70s. Massive, violent battles, wars. Youths were involved, and they were being killed and stabbed and stoned, and machetes, pangas, and if you heard of necklacing, it's where they put a tire around somebody, douse them in gasoline and set them alight. Well, they stab them, and they kill them that way, and they burn to death. Horrible things. And there was a mixed race police force. It was white and black policemen. So when the police had to go in to try to maintain the peace between these factions of tens of thousands of black youths who were trying to murder one another, the police had to go in between them. Can you imagine? This is now, you have tens of thousands, let's say you have 30,000 youths who want to murder one another. Now you send in 40 police officers between them. And they're not allowed to shoot. They're not allowed to use live ammo. They're only allowed to use tear gas and rubber bullets. A rubber bullet is a small rubber ball that's shot out of a gas-powered rifle, and it's bounced off of the road or the pavement or the ground into the crowd, and it leaves a purple mark. It hurts, but it doesn't kill anybody. See? And this was black and white police officers. Well, the international media, BBC and these were there, ready to film. And when they, after editing their films, they didn't tell the story. And we noticed it. I mean, we're reading the international news too in South Africa. We saw what they did. They claimed that not that this was a tribal war between this tribe and that tribe, and this has been going on for so. They don't tell any of that. What they said in the news is that these white, evil, racist police of the apartheid regime look at how they are killing and shooting young black people. That's what they did. And everybody, of course, believed it because the images were there. The images were there of these white, they edited out the black people, the black police officers. They just showed the white ones. And they showed the world these images of white police officers shooting and throwing tear gas at black youths. That's what they did. Another thing they did is, and the BBC did this several times, is they would pay people, let's say in some leadership positions, they would pay them to spend a lot of time with them, to make a documentary about them, right? And they would say they're going to tell their story. They're going to tell their story. And they would pay them a lot of money. I don't know, I didn't know all the hooks they used and how they actually convinced them to do it. But they would edit, they would stay with those people, then they would actually move into their homes. They would stay with them, they would eat with them, they would sleep in the house where the family is. And they would go to the meetings with this leader, if he was a leader of something, or a company CEO, And they would just film, multiple cameras. Then they leave, and everybody's friendly, and they leave back to England, and now they edit those videos. And when the actual documentary comes out, it is a smear story. They edited the videos with every piece in a way that portrays those people in the most negative light you can possibly imagine. So they look evil and they look horrible. Now, just for a second, just sit with me and just imagine somebody films you and your family and all your interactions every day when you're driving, when you're talking to your kids, when you're disciplining this one, when you have this problem and everything on the phone, something breaks and you have to call customer support, and all the frustrations we deal with, and they film that all the time, and they go edit, and all the bad things you said, or all the things that they could edit in a way that looks negative, that's what they put in their documentary to make you look bad. How about that? That's what they did. That's how the media is. The media has always been snakes. They are not honest. And Israel is clearly under a massive attack. There is a tremendous move and push to promote Islam in the United States. You can see that has happened in Europe. Go and look and go and visit Paris. Go and visit Paris. Paris is long gone. They have Sharia law all over the place in France. Paris is a slum with feces in the street. Go to London. London became friendly to Islam, had a Muslim mayor. Go and look and see if you recognize London now. You don't see white faces. It's not English in London. It's Arabic. They want to do this in America. What do you think Zoran Mandani is going to do to New York? He's not just a democratic socialist. And if you thought he's the first democratic socialist, you make a mistake. He's not. He's not the first communist. There were some other previous mayors who were sympathetic to communism, Marxism, socialism. Bill de Blasio and his wife were democratic socialists. They were very sympathetic to communism and socialism. And so Mandani is not the first communist. That's not his danger. That's not what's dangerous about Mandani is he comes like an angel of light, and he is going to destroy not just New York, but it's going to infect the entire country. And you're going to have New York be the center point. Anyway, let's get back to Candace. I want to say that you have to be very careful about what you believe about Israel. Israel is under heavy attack. You cannot believe the media. Now, I have no problem criticizing what Netanyahu is doing or criticizing the government of Israel, but be careful. What is your evidence? What do you have in front of you? What are you criticizing and what are you listening to? The internet, if you go to X or to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or any of these sources or articles that you read online, a lot of it is contrived. X, Instagram, TikTok is full of bots. Comments are often populated with bots that have a certain agenda behind them, paid for by people who want to push Islam, people who want to push open society, people who want to push communism, people who want to topple America, destroy America, and people who like George Soros and Alex Soros, his son, who have been doing this for decades all over the world, toppling countries and pushing in communism in these countries. And America is just it's a crown jewel that they want to take. I guarantee you that none of the people who are supporting all this ICE protests against ICE or so are going to benefit from bringing in illegal immigrants. I'm an immigrant. I immigrated, almost 3 decades ago. I've been a United States person now, living in the United States for more than half my life. I've been a US citizen for, over 15 years. And I love this country. Let me tell you, I've lost one country because I had to come here because I didn't see a future in a country that became a democratic socialist state. South Africa. South Africa was a democracy. It was a republic. And it became a state, a socialist state. It's taken over by the communists. And it's destroyed. It's completely gone. You cannot, there's no future there. And that's what you're looking for in America. You need to, once you've lost your country, you can never get it back. My warning, okay? So Candace, I believe Israel is under the same attack. Just, you need to recognize that. Be very careful who you believe and what you start sympathizing with. I'm going to remain neutral, but I'm going to lean towards sympathizing with Israel as God's people, as it says in the Bible. It doesn't just say that in Genesis 12. It says that in numerous places, that those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And the Bible talks about Israel in the end time. So who is this Israel, if this one is not it? Do you think the Israelites, the entire Bible talks about God's people being extremely ungodly. They were very ungodly people, okay? They did evil. That's why God split them and sent them in all over the directions. Had them carried away by Nebuchadnezzar's people, by the Babylonians, by the Persians, by the Egyptians. They were oppressed by the Egyptians because they kept sinning against the Holy God. They never became it's just because they're God's people doesn't mean they are a holy nation who acts holy. That's not the case. The fact is they are they are the chosen people. And the Bible talks about them even in the end times. So, hey, whatever you want to believe about them, however you might dislike them, I don't think it's a good idea to curse them. Okay? This is Truth Matters. Thanks for watching. Until next time.